Welcome to the Island Treasures mini podcast for caregivers. This episode is brought to you by Alongside Caregiver Consulting, and I am your host and caregiver consultant, Alison Van Schie from beautiful Vancouver Island in British Columbia, Canada. In the full episode featuring Heidi Rome, she touches on the reality that sometimes friends start dropping away from your circle of support. Here's what she describes about this, as well as the silver lining of caregiving.
Those of us who have autistic kids, most of us, in my conversations with countless people, we share an experience that after the diagnosis and after living not too long with a child with behaviors or issues, people disappear. People you thought were good friends, even relatives, all of a sudden you don't hear from them anymore. You're not invited for the holiday, or you're not invited to the dinner or the whatever. And it's not that they're evil or bad. They just often don't know what to do or how to be. And at the same time that there are people who disappear, angels show up.
Mm-hmm.
Help shows up. Resources show up. Guidance shows up that you would never have expected. And that's the silver lining of caregiving. The wonderful, wonderful, wonderful humans who show up when they don't have to, but they're drawn to, they want to, they're called to. And those are the people we all learn to cherish.
I asked Heidi to use this as a teachable moment, and here's how she responds.
It's teachable for the caregiver and for those people. For the caregiver, for anybody you ever deal with in your life, don't expect something that someone is incapable of giving. If someone were blind, you wouldn't expect them to see. They can't. So that would be that piece. For those who are open to learning and an expanded awareness, I would say allow yourself to choose love instead of fear. And maybe ask your friend, your relative, what is needed? How can I be of service in a way that I can give? I may not be capable of being with a screaming kid for an hour. Own that and say, however, what I can do, may I provide you with a meal once a month, because that would make life easier, or whatever that might be. And we all have things we can't do, and we all have things we can. And to love is the choice to focus on the good. Because we all have the weak. We all have the things we're not good at. We all have the things we're embarrassed about. All of us. No one has the monopoly on that. But love says, what do I focus on? I actually have something I use when I do trainings, and it's a famous optical illusion.
Oh, yes, I see.
See what this is?
Yes, so it's a skull. The very first thing I saw was a skull, but within the skull are two beautiful ladies.
Correct. It's an optical illusion. And the point of it is that whether you say you see a skull or you say you see the ladies, you're right. They're both there. However, the quality of your life, The quality of your thoughts, the quality of your feelings, the quality of your actions, the quality of your results will be absolutely affected by whether you choose to focus on the skull or the beautiful woman. Which do we choose to focus on? And that is true of all life. What am I choosing to focus on? When we focus on what's strong and beautiful and working and right, that focused attention gives us more of that, more evidence of that in our lives. And when we focus on what's wrong and bad and whatever we feel negative about, the skull, we get more of that.
What are you choosing to focus on? If you're in the midst of your own caregiving journey and need some supports to help you focus on some of the positives, I invite you to tap into alongsidecaregiverconsulting.ca. I recognize how precious your time is, especially as caregivers. And so this mini podcast is designed just for you. And when you have more time, I invite you to listen to the full episode called You Just Have to Love Me, A Mother's Caregiving Journey, to hear more of Heidi's caregiving story and her caregiving wisdom. Thanks for listening to this podcast or watching the mini version on YouTube. Take care.